What is up, Bills Mafia? We are on episode number 5 of the Mafia Members Podcast, a podcast for the Bills Mafia, by the Bills Mafia. So now that the kind of the draft talk has died down, we're going to be looking a little bit more into the roster and what I see happening there, and we'll look into the schedule a little bit more. And look forward to the schedule release, and we'll do some predictions. We'll do a record prediction at the end of it, and then got a couple questions from social media that we will answer as well. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Go Bills. Go Bills.
Alrighty, so let's get right into it here. We'll talk about we'll do a quick little recap on the roster positions, and we'll kind of talk about what I expect to see from the team this year, how they're gonna, what I see kind of the changes that they'll make, and look into the schedule a little bit there. So first with the roster, obviously the main thing on the roster that seems to be on everybody's mind is the wide receivers, how the wide receivers are going to do, who's Josh going to get the ball to, and I think that's going to kind of play into our favor a little bit. Like, I think the wide receiver room is a little bit better than people are giving it credit for right now. Obviously we're gonna have Shakir coming back. We already know what he can do. I expect kind of that same kind of production from him this year. I'd like to see a little bit more. Obviously, maybe he gets 1,000 yards. But I think I think it's going to be like a spread out, kind of attack from the wide receivers. I think we're going to use Curtis Samuel a lot in the end sweep or jet sweep, end around, kind of, that little shovel pass play style, wide receiver screen, extended run, or it's a run play, but they throw it out to the wide receiver outside. Those style things. And then I think we got an absolute beast in Keon Coleman. He'll be able to be outside. He's obviously got a great catch radius, great hands, and your Bills have been needing a big body wide receiver, that can actually catch since we thought we had that in Kelvin Benjamin. Everybody's off-season favorite, Duke Williams. Those kind of players, that's exactly what we need, and that's what we got in Keon Coleman. I think also through scheme and through play style and play design from Joe Brady, I think we can work him open a lot in our passing game. We all know Josh can extend a play better than anybody else in the league. And Josh is also really good at throwing guys open. If he's, if it's a tight window, he can get it in there. He can. We all remember the perfect game in the playoffs against New England. He was even looking like he was just throwing it away, and it was a touchdown to Dawson Knox. So, there's lots of plays like that Josh can do. Obviously, we rely on Josh to do everything. The whole offense runs through everything, and that's exactly what is going to continue. But I think our wide receivers in particular are getting they're still getting slept on a little bit for the current roster, even if we don't make a change. I wouldn't get too hung up on the Chase Claypool signing. To me, that's It's a no lose situation. If he comes in and plays well and everybody likes him and he gets along great with everybody, well then great. We have a wide receiver 6. If nothing happens, we cut him and it's all good. We don't gotta worry about it. He's not gonna ruin anything for us. So yeah, so I think our wide receivers will be all right. I do think we try and add maybe a more veteran player, maybe a higher profile name, something like that. Post June 1st, once we get that Tre'Davious White money off the books, we should free up a little bit of cap space, and I think we add someone before the season starts. But as it stands right now, I think our wide receiver room is kind of a sneaky good. It's not. It's definitely not like a top ranked wide receiver room in the league, but when you have Josh throwing the ball, I think we're going to be all right. The I think, well, obviously the goal with the draft pick, and I think the way that it is going to play out is that Cedric Van Pran Granger will actually start at center. I think he's going to be a day one starter, play the whole season. And our O line is solid. We get solid O line play again, just like we had last year. And so I think our O line group is kind of in the upper half. It's a good O line. I think they'll buy Josh sometime. They'll block for James Cook and Davis, and I think I think overall we have an offensive line that's kind of on the upper end of O lines in the league. And I think our running backs are solid. James Cook obviously last year had a breakout year, so it'll be good for him. More of the same from him. 1,500 all-purpose yards, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, something like that. I think he'll be able to. If his numbers stay at the same, and then we have the his production will stay kind of the same, and then Ray Davis obviously will step in and take some of the workload off him. I don't expect much from Ray Davis. 3, 4, 500 yards, maybe something like that. Who really knows? Maybe he'll vulture a couple goal line touchdowns. But his thing will be all just that ground and pound, third and 3 kind of run plays that they're drawing up for him, and I think our offense is going to be pretty good. If it stays as it is right now, I think it's still a very good offense. My concerns are definitely on the defensive side of the ball as of right now. I'd almost rather them use that post June 1st money to go get a safety, because I think that's our biggest. I think that's our biggest area of need. Cole Bishop looks like he'll be good. I hope he's a day one starter. But I think he needs some help back there. Rapp is okay. The guy we got from Kansas City is okay, but it would be nice to go out and land kind of one of these big fish on the defensive side to kind of help everybody out and kind of ease everybody's mind. Our D line is good. I think Ed Oliver, if we get a full season out of Daquan, the combination of Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, they'll each get 7 sacks kind of thing. lots of pressures, run stopping, all that kind of stuff. Be very interesting to see the stuff that we've heard so far coming out of camp for the whatever they are, the OTAs, and just kind of working out guys right now. Very interesting to see what this Javon Solomon guy could do. He could be a big time game wrecker. We'll see. I think we're okay coming off the edge with Russo, Epinesa. I think we'll be okay. Maybe. I mean, anything is better than what Von Miller did last year. So hopefully he's able to contribute, even if it's 1%. That's more than what he did last year. So defensive line, okay. We have. I don't know who else. Really, I think who else you could put above the Bills, at least in the AFC East. As far as linebacker play goes, Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard, like, I don't know who's better. Team wise, I mean, I think Milano's the better linebacker, obviously, but I don't know who's competing with that as far as the middle linebackers are concerned. We know Milano's all pro level. Bernard played at all pro level last year. So I just expect more of that from them. And like we've said before, the corners are sneaky good as well. They'll be kind of an under or an overlooked aspect, but Rasul Douglas good, Benford good, Elam getting better. Teron Johnson, I know he doesn't play corner, but he's in that cover back position. He's one of the best in the slot coverage guys. So that I expect to be to stay at the elite level. And we have McDermott drawn up play as much as I'm a fire McDermott kind of guy. As much as I'm a fire McDermott guy, I think he can scheme up the defense as well to help them out. Rap is okay, but he came up with that huge pick to seal the deal and get us the number one spot in the division last year against Miami. So I think more of that happens from the defense. It's kind of more of a committee thing. It's more of a scheme thing than it is actually having like superstar players. Like obviously we don't have a Jalen Ramsey or a Kyle Hamilton or someone like that. We don't have like one elite name kind of in that backfield, in the defensive backfield, but through plan and scheme, I think our defense will play well. They might not be the top defense in the league again, but I think they'll do enough that we allow Josh Allen to be Josh Allen and go out there and win his games. That's going to be our MO. I feel like for as long as Josh Allen's our quarterback, it's going to be, as long as McDermott is our head coach, it's going to be Josh go out there and win us every single game. And he's good at doing that. He's going to continue doing that. And I don't see it changing for next year. So I think scheme wise will be offensively it's going to look very, very different. A lot more running. Josh running as well. But we're not going to be long balls to big game Dave, big game Gabe. We'll be spreading the ball around. Josh Allen's probably going to be out there, hurdling guys, extending plays, doing whatever he's got to do to get these guys the ball. But there's no one else I'd rather have doing it. So yeah, so I think that's kind of what our team will look like. I think we're lucky that we play in kind of a weaker division, and I don't see us not winning the division next year with the roster and the guys that we have. Completely even forgot to mention our tight ends, Knox and Kincaid. Kincaid way more involved. I think even though he plays tight end, I think he's looking at like wide receiver one numbers. He'll get over 1,000 yards. You know, 9, 10 touchdowns, something like that, and he'll cement himself as kind of a bigger threat to be reckoned with in the league. And yeah, I think if all goes well, if all goes well, then I don't think there's any doubt that Allen wins the MVP this year. Because everyone, oh, he's a Stephon Diggs merchant. He turns the ball over too much. All he does is turn the ball over and throw the ball to Diggs, and he needed Diggs to be good, and now he's not. Now he doesn't have Diggs, and we're going to go into Houston and beat Diggs, and everyone's going to. I think this is the season that kind of finally the haters have to put some respect on Josh Allen's name. He's been getting a lot of hate. He's been getting hate his whole entire career. And I think this is the time where he finally kind of silences some people. So I think without him having his only weapon, I think he silences a lot of the haters. I think he gets another 50 touchdown season. He just continues on his historic, unprecedented, kind of run that nobody seems to care about because he threw 14 interceptions or whatever the number was. It's not even that big of a deal when you lead the league by that many touchdowns. It's sure, obviously, it's something you'd like to clean up, but and people will be like, well, that's the reason why they lose. Yes, they contribute to the loss. For sure, it contributes to a loss. You can't turn the ball over 3 times. Like game 1 against the Jets last year. 100% Josh Allen is the reason why we lost that game. That's fine. But he's also 100% the reason why we finished first in the division and won a playoff game. So we've said it many, many times. You take the good with the bad with Josh Allen. But I think this is the year that we don't have to take as much of the bad, and I think we just get a really good version of Josh Allen. I think with Stephon Diggs being out, not on the team, not in the lineup, we're not forcing the ball to him, and Josh can kind of just stand back there and play backyard football. I think it's going to be really fun to watch, and I expect lots of I think this is the year that Josh finally gets some of the accolades that he should have been receiving for a long time now. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of the more fun seasons for the Bills to watch. I think they're going to play a fun style of football to watch, more of that backyard style football. Everybody get open on 3, ready, set, go. That kind of style thing, and we just go and we just ball out. Controlled chaos. I think that's how the Bills season is going to be, and yeah, so we'll take a quick little break here. We'll come back. We'll get into the schedule a little bit, and we got a question from social media from one of our fans, but yeah, we'll take a quick little break, and we'll come back and we'll talk schedule. Okay, so we're back. And we are going to talk some schedule. For winning the division, I think the Bills got a pretty decent schedule. I starting to feel like I'm the only one who thinks that, and that might be a problem. Maybe I've got some unreal expectations for them this year. But I think right off the top we got a couple easy W's this year. Jags, Titans, Cards, the Pats twice, Colts, and Seattle. I feel like all those are pretty easy victories for us. I know the Jags we always kind of don't play well against the Jags, but I don't see them being a legit contender this year. They did get Gabe Davis, but we all know how that goes. So I think the Jags, Titans, I don't see much coming from the Titans. Really, the only thing they had was Derrick Henry, and they don't have that anymore. So that's an easy win. Cardinals don't scare anybody, and the Pats twice. So I feel like that's two easy wins on our schedule this year. I don't expect another game like last season against the Pats where they beat us there that time last season. I don't think that happens again. I think we learn from that, we grow from that, and they're just a much worse team also than they were last year. I don't think Drake May is answering any questions for them. I don't think their skill position group is any good. So I think we beat the Pats both times. Colts, I still think that's an easy win for us. Anthony Richardson, sure, could be good, but I don't see them. I don't see them presenting a challenge for us. And Seattle, I don't see same. I don't see them really being a threat to us this season. It's another year with Geno Smith. I'm not sure how many more of those he's got in him. Yeah, I think that those are, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. That's an easy 7 wins right there that I'm expecting us to get. I don't think that's even being that crazy to say that that's 7 wins on our schedule. Other games that I think are wins, but maybe not as guaranteed, but I see them as wins are, we're playing the Rams. I think we can beat Detroit. I think we beat the Jets and the Dolphins, and I think we go into Houston and beat Houston. I realistically, it kind of depends on Aaron Rodgers' status. So I think even the in a worst case scenario, I think we split with the Jets, and I think we split with the Dolphins as well. We'll probably win at home and lose on the road to the Dolphins. They'll probably, we'll probably be playing. Obviously, it'll matter when we see the schedule. We'll see kind of where we're playing them and when. Obviously, if you get them, and it's that peak heat down in Miami, that can pose some challenges of its own. The Rams, I think we beat the Rams. Detroit, obviously, very good team, very well coached, but every once in a while, you gotta beat kind of those better teams, and I think the Bills have shown they're able to do that in the regular season at least. We've beaten Kansas City a bunch of times in the regular season, so I think those are wins. But they're not as, maybe it's a little bit more of a closer game than I think some of those teams that I mentioned in the first portion of our schedule. And then debatable, where I could see us actually losing the games. So, like I said, split with the Jets and Dolphins. So there's two losses, and that's just me not looking, not being optimistic. That's just me. I think there's a good chance that we win both games against the Jets, and I think there's a good chance we win both games against the Dolphins as well. But to realistically expect you team to realistically sweep the whole entire division, I just don't think that that's you know I don't think that that's a realistic expectation that you can put on any team. I don't think the Chiefs would sweep their own division. I don't think San Fran sweeps their own division. It's hard. It's hard to do. So realistically, I just put a split at both of those for both of those teams, and like I said, dependent on how Aaron Rodgers plays and his health. Jets got a really good defense, so it'll be hard for us to put up points. But if it's the same as last year and they don't have Aaron Rodgers there, then then I think that's a sweep for playing the Jets as well. And like I said, I think we go into Houston. I think it's kind of that's going to be probably a primetime game or a whatever game. But I think internally for the Bills, that's going to be a big one. They're going to want to show up for that one. They're going to be fired up. Josh is going to be motivated. All the whole team's going to be motivated to get that win. I feel like over Diggs, and Houston got a lot better over the in this offseason by a lot of their defensive acquisitions and adding Stephon Diggs, and they'll get Tank Dell back, and all those kinds of things. So it's definitely not going to be an easy win, but I think it's one of those ones that we pull out a big win. Debatable ones that I'm not entirely sure on. Kansas City, obviously, that's a tight game. That's going to be a tough game. I think just for the sake of this argument and my schedule prediction, I put that down as a loss because I think Kansas City just has our number. We have their number kind of in the regular season, but I think depending on where the game is played, where it is in the season, if there's lots riding on it, and it's kind of a game that Kansas City needs to have, then they're playing at their best. Not that they take games off or anything like that, but if it's a must-win game for them, then that changes the dynamic of the game. So Kansas City I put down as a loss. I put a loss to San Fran. I think San Fran's a really good team. They got weapons all over the place. Now, obviously, if they lose Debo or Ayuk or both, then that changes that as well. But just for where we're at right now in the offseason, and kind of, we don't even have the full schedule. Like, we only know the opponents. We don't know any point of the. We don't know any dates, if it's prime time, if it's not, where those kinds of things. So I'm just saying, like, as of right now, I'm worried about San Fran, and then I put Baltimore as another loss for us. Strictly, pretty much just because we have to go into Baltimore, we have to play in Baltimore. I feel like that makes it a little bit more difficult. I like the Bills in that game if they're hosting Baltimore. Regardless of all of these games, especially with the exception of playing Kansas City, we have the best quarterback playing in all those games. We kind of hear this every offseason about, last year it was Jalen Hurts and a bunch of other, Jalen Hurts was kind of the one that stood out the most, but that everyone was like, oh yeah, no, for sure, he's better than Josh Allen. And to me, that's just not true. But Kansas City's the only one who has like the legit argument to make that they have the better quarterback. I think Josh Allen is better than Brock Purdy. I think he's better than C.J. Stroud. I think he's better than Lamar Jackson. I think he's better than Jared Goff. I think he's better than Matthew Stafford. Like all these quarterbacks, he's better than Trevor Lawrence. Better than Tua by far. Me being conservative and not even giving us a sweep within the division and losing to Baltimore, that's still a 13-4 season. I think we're a 13-win team as it stands right now. 12-5, 13-4. We're in that range. But for the sake of making an actual prediction, I think we're a 13. I think our record is 13-4 when it's all said and done. And we kind of, like I said, Josh Allen puts everybody on notice. Josh Allen cements himself as the second best quarterback in the league, and that's how I see that playing out. Obviously, once the actual schedule gets released and we kind of know where and when all these games are being played, that I might change my prediction. But as it stands right now, that's kind of where it's at, and I think it's going to be a really fun season for us to watch, and I think it's going to be a really fun season for us to be a part of, and can't wait to see the boys get after it. But just to wrap up, the fan question came to us this week on TikTok. Go follow us. Go follow me on TikTok at Mafia Members Pod on TikTok. And it came from Swatco. And the question was, what are the realistic expectations for them this year? Because I think lots of times Bills fans get caught up in the Super Bowl. Oh, this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. We kind of sound like Cowboys fans or Maple Leaf fans, or this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. But realistically, I think we get to the AFC Championship game. Obviously, depending on how the playoffs pan out, if we go into Kansas City for that conference championship game, I think that's tough to make it to the Super Bowl. But realistically, I think, like I said, I think we go 13-4. I think we get first place in the division. We host a playoff game, and I think we win one playoff game, and yeah, I think we make it into the conference championship game. Now, obviously, hopefully, we make it into the Super Bowl, but that will depend on lots of things. I think we had a real good shot last year if we didn't have injuries. So obviously everything is dependent on that as well. But realistically, I think this is the year that Josh puts a lot of shuts up a lot of the haters. And I think we go 13-4, win our division, win a playoff game, and I think we make it into the AFC Championship game. And yeah, I think that's exactly how the season will play out. Appreciate the question. Anybody else, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you can find it. It's Mafia Members Podcast on all social media platforms. Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Holler at your boy on all those platforms. And like we said last week, how we're going to end every single episode. Fuck the Finns.